Hello, everyone. My name is Isabella Ramirez, and this is my informative speech on the real cost of AI. To get things started, let me ask you a question. What's one thing that we need more than anything else on Earth? You can go weeks without eating, but only a few days without this needed source. Every living organism on planet Earth depends on it, and if you haven't guessed already what it is, it's water. Every time you use AI and ask a question, or even say, "Hey Siri," there's a hidden cost happening behind the scenes, and it's our water. As I scroll through social media and I look through all of these posts, I can't help but notice there's a trend in slop, the most popular word of 2026. 2025. AI slop, to be exact. AI deepfakes of politicians and celebrities and people who you may know from school or your walks of life. I don't think a lot of people are asking themselves the question of at what cost is this cheap entertainment? What audience will there be when the earth becomes inhabitable because we have no more water? I'm going to explain how artificial intelligence is affecting both our environment and our daily lives by looking at these five key facts. How AI uses water, how its hidden energy consumption, the environmental impact, its impact on our cognitive thinking, and what we can do to move forward. So, to get things started, let's start with what's happening behind the scenes and how it's polluting our world, as if we needed any more than that. AI doesn't just exist on our phones, it runs through massive data centers. And in China, these data centers are now being built underwater. So, which means our oceans are now being heated. These centers are filled with powerful computers that process information. And just like how when you are on your computer for too long, if you have it laying on your lap, it starts to get hot. Now imagine multiple people, billions of people using your computer every single day. It's going to get extremely hot. That's what these data centers are. And to prevent overheating, these companies use cooling systems, and many of those cooling systems rely heavily on our water, what we use every day to survive. One AI search is about 1 million gallons of water. I mean, every data center uses about 1 million gallons of water. I want to say every 2 months. I can't find the fact on that one, but I remember it. Now imagine millions of people using AI every day. That adds up fast. Now that we understand how AI uses water directly, let's look at another hidden cost of it: energy use. AI systems require enormous amounts of electricity to run, and there's a connection from producing electricity that often requires water too. Power plants use water for cooling and energy production, and so AI is indirectly using even more water than we initially realized. So it's not just about what we see, it's the entire system working behind the scenes. In China, like I said before, these underwater data centers are now heating up the oceans as we already have a rising ocean crisis. So while yes, they're not technically polluting the air, they're polluting the ecosystems and the ocean's natural wildlife. So when we combine water and energy consumption, the bigger question becomes, what type of impact does this have on our environment? Many data centers are built in already water scarce and struggling areas. That means that the water being used to cool down these machines is coming from places where people already have limited access to water. According to the United Nations, billions of people throughout the entire nation experience, or around the world, experience water scarcity every single year. And with the temperatures rising and the rainy seasons becoming shorter in the nearby future, this problem will only worsen. So when large tech facilities move into these areas, it increases the pressure on local communities to deal with these data centers that nobody asked for. The energy demand contributes to the pollution and climate change so heavily. When you walk outside, instead of natural blue skies, you see this gross blanket of musty skies and the smell of pollution. So yes, while AI does feel progressive, it can come with real environmental consequences. But the impact of AI doesn't just stop at the environment. It also affects us personally and more than we think it does. We've more than what we think it does to our mental health. AI is designed to make life easier, but sometimes easier isn't always better. When we rely too much on technology, we stop practicing our motor skills and become more reliant on the computer than our own cognitive thinking. Neuroscientist Manfred Spitzer and discussed the concerns about a new phenomenon being brought up in Gen Z named digital dementia, the overuse of technology and the underuse of our brains. Now, that doesn't mean that AI is going to damage your brain overnight, but it does mean that constantly depending on it and instead of thinking for yourself can have long-term effects. Your brain is like a muscle, and so the less that you use it, the weaker it becomes. So you need to use your brain. So now that we understand a little bit more about the mental health aspect and we understand the environmental aspect, what are the personal aspects? What can we do personally, sorry, to move forward and find any type of solution? The good news is it's not all downhill yet. Some companies are already developing more efficient cooling systems that use less water, but that doesn't change the fact that these companies are coming for us. We can start by being more mindful of AI usage and asking yourself, do I really need to Google search this or can I figure it out on my own? Being able to do the simplest of tasks of AI shouldn't be a struggle. And the goal is to become more green with our technology and don't let it run your entire life. AI does use a lot of water and consumes a lot of energy, and it impacts our environment and our mental health more than we think. But it's up to you, the individual, to make that change at the end of the day to let the technology dictate your life or not. I want to bring you back to where we first started water. It's the one thing every living organism needs to survive. Because the reality is, every time we use AI, we're tapping into that water system that we depend on. And here's the difference every living organism needs water, technology doesn't. So the next time that you open AI for something small, take a second and think about what's happening behind the screen. Because the most powerful tool that you have is isn't artificial. It's your brain. Thank you. And I hope you liked my speech.